India has quietly preparing for something for over 70 years. Not a war, not a sudden policy, but a long-term plan to solve one of its biggest problems forever, energy. And now something important has started. A stage that could change how India powers its future and maybe even how the world looks at the nuclear energy. But here's the twist. It's not uranium. It's something most countries ignored. Thorium. See, India has always had a challenge when it comes to energy. We are one of the fastest growing economies in the world, but we do not have enough fuel of our own. We import oil, we import gas, and even for the nuclear power, we depend heavily on uranium. And that dependency is risky because energy is not just electricity, it is power, it is control, it is independence. So, decades ago, India asked a bold question. What if we build a system where we do not depend on anyone for our energy needs? That is when India designed a long-term strategy called the three-stage nuclear program, where stage 1 focused on using uranium to produce energy and generate plutonium. Stage 2 focused on using the plutonium in fast breeder reactors to create even more fuel. And stage 3, the real goal, was always about using thorium, a resource India has in massive amounts. This was never meant to be a quick solution. This was a vision designed to unfold over 50 to 70 years. Now here is why thorium matters so much. India has one of the largest thorium reserves in the world, especially along its coastal regions. And unlike uranium, thorium is more abundant and potentially safer. It produces less long-term nuclear waste and reduces risk associated with nuclear misuse, which means, in simple terms, thorium could give India clean, stable, long-term energy directly from its own soil without depending on imports or external supply chains. So, when people say stage 2 is activated, they are talking about a crucial step in this journey. India's fast breeder reactor projects, especially at Kalpakkam, are finally nearing in the reality. And these reactors are not the final destination, but the bridge between the uranium and thorium. Without stage 2, stage 3 cannot happen. So, this moment is important, not because everything is completed, but because the foundation is finally being built after decades of delays, research, and testing. India is slowly moving closer to its original vision. If this works at a scale, India could become one of the few countries in the world with a truly self-sustaining nuclear energy cycle, which means more energy security, less dependence on the imports, lower emissions, and a stronger global position. And in a world where energy defines power, this is not just about electricity, this is about the future of a nation. For years, this plan stayed in the background, slow, complex, and almost invisible. But now it is starting to move. And the real question is whether India will be able to complete what it started decades ago. Because if it does, this might become one of the most important energy stories of our time. And if you want more such stories, please subscribe.